mathematician, philosopher, logician, essayist, historian, and social critic. All these titles describe Bertrand Arthur William Russell and his many accomplishments throughout his 97 years that he lived. Of all these titles, Russell excelled in the mathematic field and is known greatly for his studies and accomplishments. Russell is also considered to be one of the greatest logicians of the 20th century, along with Kurt Gödel. Russell's life and studies revolved around three major fields. These fields consist of mathematics, his defense of logicism, and was also a committed anti-nuclear war activist. Bertrand Russell was one of the greatest mathematicians of the 20th century. Russell discovered the Russell's paradox in May 1901 while working on the Principles of Mathematics 1903. In doing so, Russell unearthed many theories originally developed by Greg Cantor. His original theory stated that the axiom gives form to the intuition that any cohort condition may be used to determine a set. Russell's paradox concentrated on ways of restricting this axiom. Russell and Alfred North Whitehead together wrote Principia Mathematica in 1910 through 1913. In Principia Mathematica, Russell and Whitehead together created two versions, the simple theory and the ramified theory. Both theories had kinks and were attacked because they were either too weak and failed to resolve all known paradoxes, or were too strong and excluded many mathematical constants. Russell's logistic thinking was a major trait that established his theories. Along with Kurt Gödel, Russell was thought as being one of the greatest logistic thinkers of the 20th century. Logicism is the view that mathematics is, in some significant case, reducible to formal logic. The Russell's paradox is a prime example of logistic views. Along with the introduction of theory and types with his rewriting of the first order predicate calculus, which was very popular. Russell's accomplishments of the theory of logic. Bertrand Russell spent a great deal of time and energy on his logistical studies. From this he walked away with many accomplishments. He wrote books, laws, theories, and created his very own paradox, Russell's paradox. One of his earliest accomplishments was the introduction to mathematical philosophy that he wrote in prison in 1919. He later went on to write the publication of Wittgenstein's Tractatus Logico-Philosophicus in 1922. Russell's fight against war and the production of nuclear weapons. Russell's numerous convictions and arrests. In 1916, he was arrested and convicted at Trinity College for anti-nuclear crimes. After this, he was expelled from Trinity as a result of the conviction under the Defense of Realm Act. 2 years later, Russell was convicted a second time for anti-war activities and was sentenced to 6 months at Brixton Prison and would not be released until September 1918. Russell's fight against nuclear weapons and other causes. During World War I, Russell campaigned against Adolf Hitler for nuclear disarmament. During these campaigns, he was convicted and arrested as shown earlier for these acts. In the 50s and 60s, Russell was involved in numerous causes relating to nuclear disarmament and the Vietnam War. In 1955, Russell and Albert Einstein released their Russell's-Einstein Manifesto, which called for nuclear disarmament and was signed by 11 of the most renowned nuclear physicists of the world. Bertrand Arthur William Russell's numerous contributions to the world of mathematics is phenomenal. He has worked with some of the most renowned mathematicians and physicists of the world, and has influenced the world in the preservation of the Earth's well-being by the determination of the disarmament of nuclear weapons. His actions were sometimes questionable, but his motives were pure and directed toward the growth and safeguard of the human race.